And now the Hansons and Hiatus podcast with Nate and Alexis.
Happy Friday, fuckers. It is episode 72 of the Hansons on Hiatus podcast. I am your host, Nate, and this is my wife, Alexis.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
And don't forget to support the podcast. buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on Hiatus. You can buy us some virtual beers.
Ooh.
And I couldn't remember everybody's name that had donated last week, like for my birthday also.
Yeah.
Mike bought us 10 beers.
Thank you, Mike.
Vanessa got us 5 beers. Christina got us 4 beers. And Kim got us 5 beers as well. So, and there was one anonymous. So whoever you are, thank you.
I bet it was Bali again. Thank you, Mike, Vanessa, Christina, Kim, and Bali, I'm going to guess. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So, thank you very much. I had a great birthday.
You definitely turned the virtual beers into real beers and drank them.
That's true. That is true. And also, don't forget to join and visit the HansonsOnHiatus.com so you can visit the merch store and find all of our episodes, and you can donate there. You can share it with friends so other people can find the podcast.
Yeah.
Because you can like, follow, share, subscribe, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, iTunes, Google Music.
YouTube music.
Sorry, they
YouTube,
changed the
Google
name.
Music.
Yeah. At Hansons on Hiatus on mostly all of them.
I do get that question. Where can I listen to your podcast, or where can I see the merch store? If anybody's asking you that, just hansonsonhiatus.com. Just like Nate said, it's got everything right there. Merch store, where you can listen to us, where you can watch us, all the stuff. So.
You're right. So we were going to finish up a couple little stories that we had from Guadalajara from the last week's episode. So I don't remember how in depth we went with certain things, I think. So if you're hearing it again, I apologize. But yeah, there was just some kind of little funny things that we remembered after we recorded last week's episode. Right. So this happened maybe the first morning we were there.
Oh, yes.
And I woke up and I go to brush my teeth and I spit in the sink, and my spit is black.
Actually, you were in the shower, and I went in there, and then that's where you spit. We were like, ah.
Oh, yeah. But I also spit. Yeah, you're right. I spit in the shower, and then I spit in the sink. And so I'm thinking, it looked like when you eat Oreos, you know, and your spit is like that black, like cookie color or whatever.
First thing I thought, are you eating cookies for breakfast? Where did you get cookies? You're not sharing with me?
Yeah, right. So at first I was like, what did I eat last night? And then I'm thinking back, and we just had eaten at the hotel bar. We loved our hotel that had like a little bar restaurant.
The pergolas.
Yeah. And I'm thinking about what I ate, and it was like nachos, and I think we had like boneless wings or something. So
nothing black.
Nothing black. And then I'm starting to worry, and I'm like, is this like some kind of, blood or bile or something? Sorry to be gross, but yeah, I'm thinking like, is my body doing something weird?
We both immediately went to the worst, because who wakes up with a black tongue? That seems very random.
And that was the other thing. My whole tongue was black when I looked in the mirror.
Yeah.
So I'm spitting black. My tongue is completely black. It was really fucking weird, and I was a little scared. So I was like,
really weird.
We were Googling. So you Googled something, and there was like something about a hairy tongue or something like that.
Yeah, I Googled it immediately, and then it was like, like something about a funky tongue, or a hairy, like fuzzy looking tongue, or a black tongue. And then like what you could have taken that would cause it, or any of the issues. Of course, the internet, the first things are like, you're dying.
Yeah, you got the black plague.
Yeah, something. And then you read down, it's like, oh, if you have taken this, or maybe this could cause it, or if you're eating and mixing this. The last one was, I said, what did you take? Because we always bring vitamins and different things on our trips, but asked you, what did you take this morning or last night? And you had taken some Tums or like Pepto.
Yeah, right before I went to bed, since we generally eat fairly healthy, and then obviously on the weekends, or if we're doing something, we kind of like let it go. We're on a vacation.
Yeah.
So we had eaten for dinner. It was 2-for-1 app. So we got the nachos and the boneless wings. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking, okay, nachos with jalapenos, boneless wings with hot sauce. I might have an upset stomach in the morning. Mm-hmm. So you had a little bag of goodies. Yeah. And so I ate 1 Tums and 1 Pepto-Bismol, because you only had 1 of each. So I was like, oh, usually I think you eat 2. So I was like, oh, I'll just eat 1 of each. They kind of do the same thing.
Yeah. Protect the tummy.
So yeah. So I had 1 pink tablet and 1 white tablet. And apparently
Pepto-Bismol
can react with, I can't remember what it was. It was like there's something in the Pepto-Bismol. It reacts with like something in your stomach acid or saliva, and it attaches onto it. And I think it's like, if so like a kid or something is like eating poison or something like that, they give them charcoal tablets to like, help, I don't know, pass it through or help your stomach or whatever. So I wonder if there's some kind of charcoal ingredient in the Pepto-Bismol, even though it's a pink tablet. Maybe that like kind of charcoaly stuff to settle your stomach reacted with the saliva. So
it's had something with your stomach bile, the acid, whatever upset stomach acid that you get, that can make a reaction in your mouth. And it's all these pictures of people like, nah, and just like yours was very mild compared to the ones I saw online. We're like, oh my God, that's so weird. How I've been taking Pepto-Bismol since I was like 5. I remember my mom giving me a cup of it. I've never seen a black tongue or heard of that on anyone.
Never. Yeah, so I have no idea. So that was a little freaky.
I'm glad you're okay.
Yes, me too. What else did we do there? We did the double-decker bus tour.
That was awesome. We saw one of those drive by and we're like, we need that.
Yeah. So I know it's like a touristy thing, obviously, and people like think being a tourist is taboo. And, you want to get off the beaten path a little bit, which we do. But also you go to places and they're touristy for a reason because those are cool things to see and whatever. So
I want to see all the major landmarks of your city or wherever we are. Like, I want to see what you're known for.
Right. So when I was in Europe last year for my birthday, actually, I started doing these hop on, hop off bus tours that they have in like most every city,
That's
like
great.
large city. And a lot of them you can pay a fee and you get on the bus and then you can jump off wherever they stop and then you get back on or whatever. And some of them you just sit on the whole time.
Yeah.
So I would highly recommend that. Any city you go to, if they have that kind of bus tour, do it, because we did this one and it was really cool. It drove all around Guadalajara, and it's nice because when you're walking, you're trying not to get hit by cars or run into people, and you're looking at, what is this thing? I have no idea. When you're on the bus tour, you can just sit there and look around. You don't have to drive. And depending on what language the announcer guy is in, you can hear some more information about it.
Oh yeah, I like it that we have the option to, jump off the bus if we wanted to. If we're like, oh, that looks really cool, they just told us about it, we want to get off and go in and actually look more. We do a lot of walking on our trip, so it was nice to sit on a bus for a little bit.
Yeah. And it was funny, we got on the second level of the double decker.
Yeah.
And
right in front of the window.
Yeah, right in front of the window. And there was this old lady behind us.
Yeah.
And she leans over to you and she starts saying something in Spanish to you and showing you her phone. And you're thinking, like,
I thought she wanted me to take a picture.
I did too.
There's lots of beautiful things in front of us and she's holding it. I'm like,
Yeah. And you were like, I'm sorry. Like, she wasn't really talking. Like, she said a couple words, but I didn't hear what she had said previously.
Yeah.
And then she wasn't really talking. She was just like, with her phone. And you're like, do you want a picture of you? Do you want me to take a video for you of the front since I'm in the front seat? And then she goes,
photo.
Yeah. And then she said 2 words in English and it was like, turn off or something like that. And
we're like, oh.
Yeah.
Boop.
And her phone was recording a video and she didn't know how to stop the video.
Yeah, so she's a nice video of me going like,
yeah. So you did do it for her.
Yeah.
But it was really funny because it's like, wouldn't you just think, I know like technology, like in the future, we're going to be like, how do you do this? And we're tech savvy now.
Like a little grandma.
Right. But wouldn't it just be kind of common sense? The button that you press to start the recording, you stop it the same way. The giant red blinking button in the middle of your phone.
Right.
So.
I will say I've been to a couple concerts holding up my phone, recording, and then look and it's not recording, or vice versa. I thought I turned it off and it was still recording.
Yeah, but you know how to do it.
True. I love the couple next to us. Actually, she still had more questions about her iPhone, and which I'm like, I can't answer these. You're super Espanol.
And
Sorry.
I don't know how to use your iPhone.
The husband and wife next to us spent quite a good amount of time explaining to this woman how to use her iPhone. So I was so thankful that, like, sorry.
Yeah. And what else? Oh, we were on the bus and we're riding around and I'm like, I know that smell. It's so familiar. It was like these grains being cooked. And I was like, oh, it smells like a brewery around here. And we look coming down the road, and we're passing the Corona factory.
Yes.
And it wasn't just Corona; it was like Corona and what's that, like Estrella beer from I think it's a Spain beer, but they're all from the same family. So anything that the Corona brand makes was being made at that factory right there. It's huge.
You could smell it. You're like, woo.
Yeah.
Smell the hops.
Yeah. And then later on, we went to the Regional Museum of Guadalajara.
Yes.
Because we wanted to see that woolly mammoth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knew there's a woolly mammoth there? A whole skeleton.
Yeah, it was
my
pretty
God.
complete too. It had his like little tail. It looked like a little elephant tail.
Tiny little bones. Bing, 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 bing. So cute. His big old tusks and amazing.
And it was also cool because they had other things. There was some like Mesoamerican like pottery and art and little effigies and stuff like that. But one of them was this kind of burial that they had found, and it had the skeleton laid out and then had all the stuff that was buried with him. And they were going on to say how the Mesoamerican culture also buried goods with their dead, kind of like the Egyptians do, to send it on to the afterlife for things to go with them. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Very cool. I love that not only did they have the woolly mammoth there, but they had a lot of other bones from different animals. Like we saw the saber-toothed tiger that had those big long teeth, and then the whale vertebrae.
Yeah, it was like a 10,000-year-old whale vertebrae.
It was like this big. Oh, it's so cool looking.
Yeah.
Creepy.
Like we said earlier, we loved our hotel. If you're looking for a hotel in Guadalajara, let us know. We got it for super cheap. I think we got it was like $200 for 5 nights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good price. It was just, it was great. It had a great pool, had a good restaurant.
Heated pool,
which we were like, why would you have a heated pool? It gets chilly in Guadalajara.
Yeah, it was a little chilly there. So
we were thankful for that.
Luckily they had that pool. The bartender sang happy birthday to me.
Yeah, the staff was really friendly.
Even though I don't know what song it was, because it wasn't like the traditional happy birthday.
Yeah.
It was some other like Mexican, not even like happy birthday in Spanish. It was like a Mexican happy birthday song.
It's like that celebration
And
song.
they sang it to me this past weekend when we were in Isla Mujeres.
Yep.
The same song. So we're going to have to figure out that song and the lyrics to it. And
we
everything.
should have just asked our friends.
It was funny because there was a lot of mosquitoes in this kind of bar area that we were at because there was a lot of plants around and it was raining a lot.
Yeah.
So you were asking for bug spray.
Yes.
And what did they give you instead?
She did have some.
Oh, yeah, true.
She brings out this like tennis racket. It was like electrified tennis racket, and you just zap the bugs around you. She had 2 of them. So she's got 2 bug zappers going, and then she has a paddle, and I have one too, and we're just like bzz, 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 bzz,
We really should have got one of those because remember we saw the guy
Yeah.
on the when we were at the Insurgente brewery. We saw the guy on the street selling them.
He was selling them. I was like, holy shit, that's a thing. It was so cool.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
zapping them all around you.
So we need to get one, or maybe even just a smaller one because it's hard to use because it's so long.
It is
and
like
everything.
a tennis racket.
Like if you're trying to go around chairs and stuff. So maybe we get like a little small guy. That'd be
I will
cool.
say the tables have turned. The mosquitoes loved you in Guadalajara.
They did.
They still messed with me, but they were after you.
But the bites weren't as bad.
They weren't
like
as here, yeah.
They didn't get as like welty, and they didn't like last very long.
Right.
Like they were all gone by the next day.
The mosquitoes looked smaller. It looked like not like they were no-see-ums,
Pussy-ass
but
mosquitoes.
they were just smaller. The ones here are like aggressive.
Yeah,
Jeez.
And then we'll see what else. Oh, so we went on the tequila tour, which we
Yes.
talked about last week. A
Yes.
couple things I wanted to bring up about that. I can't remember if we touched on them or not, but there was this one point where we got to the first agave field that we visited, and we get out of the car and we're looking at the field, and our tour guide Kim from was it Destino Agave Tours was telling us about the whole area and everything, and they had a dog on the farm and it just starts going "Arr!" because this train was going by and it was like honk like doo doo.
Cutest thing of my life. We had just got there. We hear the train. We're like, that's amazing. Kim's like, look, it's right over there. It's a really long one. And then the little puppy starts going.
Yeah, but he also told us this is the train that like illegals, I guess, or whoever, like they're trying to sneak into the United States. He's like, this is the train they use because it goes from the whole like southern border of Mexico to the northern, or I mean, into the United States.
Yeah.
Like, so it like transports,
Bunch of cargo.
cargo stuff. So he's like, yeah, that's the one that they like hide underneath or whatever. So I wonder when it's at the border, how do they stop that? I'm sure there's like, guys checking it out or something.
Just jump off and run.
Yeah. And then when we got into the actual town of Tequila, we went to that expensive restaurant.
Yeah.
Because when we told our guide, we were like, well, we want because it was just us. If you remember from last week, everybody else bailed, so it was like basically a private tour.
Yeah.
And we're like, we want to eat where you eat. Like, where are you going to go have lunch or have a bite or whatever? And he's like, okay, well, I'm going to take you to this. He's like, if you've never been to this city, this is the restaurant you have to go to. It was like
okay,
some
cool.
famous tequila company or distillery. It's their restaurant. And we get there and it's like, well, fancy for us. Like,
It was beautiful.
I wanted like a fucking torta and like a local taco or something, but
cheap and easy.
it was still very good. And then you tried to steal a plate.
They were beautiful. Everything there, the flowers, the ambiance, and the plates. I wanted to take it. If I was my mom or a different klepto, I would have taken it.
Yeah. And I can't remember if we talked about the Batanga drink last week. Do you remember if we touched on that?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so there's this, and if we have, apologies,
Yeah.
but there's this drink called the Batanga, and which I'd never even really heard of it.
No, that's a fun word to say, Batanga.
Yeah, but it was made at this little hole-in-the-wall bar in Tequila, and it was like this guy, I can't remember, it was like Don Javier. Yeah, maybe we didn't mention this last week. I remember saying his name, but anyway. So we got to go in there and have the drink, and it was like, it seemed like the guy that was behind the bar was like maybe this Don guy's son. He was older, maybe like 40s, 50s. And then there was a kid making the drinks, like maybe 10 or 12 or something.
He looked young.
Yeah. So
maybe 14, 15.
Oh, yeah, well, I always say, I can never judge kids and how old they are.
True. They're all taller now, so I could never tell how old they are. This kid was taller than me, so he could have been 12 or 15. I don't know.
Yeah, so he's making the drink, and they put like a knife in it, and like they stir it with a knife for some reason.
The knife that they cut up the limes with, so
right.
it gets extra lime juicy in the drink. But you think you would just have like a lime squeezer?
They do that.
Okay.
Like they do squeeze it. Yeah, so it's weird that they put the knife in there.
It's probably for the show, you know.
Yeah, but the drink is tequila, lime juice, and Coca-Cola, and then a salted rim.
Yeah.
So it was cool to
great.
visit the place of the birthplace of this cocktail.
Yeah, it was fun. Did we need them at the time? Probably not.
No, I think that's what put us over the edge.
Yes.
Not the Palomas in the car or the 2 tequila tastings.
Mm-mm.
It was like that drink. I remember we were just like, woo! And I think we had to be back at the car at a certain time, and we were still like kind of walking around Tequila, and we started getting messages from our guide, and he was like, bro, where are you? And I was like, we're right here. And I sent him our location. I'm thinking he's going to come pick us up.
Yeah.
And maybe like 10, 15 minutes later, he's like, bro, are you here? And
Where
I was
are
like,
you?
I was like, I thought you meant like you were getting the car and coming to get us. Like, we're coming, and we're like, just laughing.
That went pretty fast. He was like, okay, I'll see you guys like in an hour or two. And then it seemed like that was so quick.
Yeah. And then I believe, I can't remember if we really went in depth about the Cantoritos place, El Guero. And it's where they make these giant like clay pot drinks. Yeah, I gotta see what's in that too. Do you remember what it was in it?
Oh my gosh. I mean, tequila. And then they love their fruit juices. It's like a lot of that Italian kind of grapefruit soda or lime juice.
Yeah, so the Cantorito it's kind of like a Paloma. It's tequila based, and it's made with orange juice, lemon juice, lime juice, and served in like the clay pot kind of thing.
Probably as a good taste.
And obviously tequila.
Yeah, with like the clay pot, I think it gives it a different taste. But then I love all those juices, and they're kind of like sparkling juice almost with they love Squirt too. We saw Squirt, like that lemon lime soda that was everywhere. So our favorite things to drink.
Well, Squirt is Taranja. What is it? I can't think of it in English now. Grapefruit. Yeah. Yeah. Squirt is like a grapefruit drink.
Yeah.
And that's why they use it, because I think traditionally a Paloma is with grapefruit juice.
Yeah.
And so that's why they use, because Squirt's cheaper.
I like it.
Yeah. But there's that little bin in the bathroom, or like a sink almost, and it says like vomit here.
Yeah.
Vomit aquí. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I bet people that don't even speak Spanish know exactly what that's for.
Yeah.
Because you could make out I can't remember how you'd spell vomit in Spanish. It was like vomite.
A little bit different.
Yeah. And then it was aquí. Yeah. So, and then you get to smash your glass at the end if you want to, but we brought ours home.
It was so cute. They had a whole wall. Everybody just smashing their cups, and it's just everywhere. But yes, you wanted to bring your birthday souvenir home, so we did.
Yeah.
I wanted to smash it.
Yeah. No, I was like, no, I want to keep it. And what else? There was what was that drink that Carlos was telling us about? It was like a Pajarete.
Oh yeah.
Like P-A-R or P-A-J-A-R-E-T-E, I think. Or
Yeah.
E-E-T. Yeah. So,
Oh, yeah.
anyway, so he was telling us about this drink, and it's a tequila drink or tequila-based drink, or maybe even just like a high alcohol drink.
Mhm.
Or maybe it's not tequila. I don't know. But it's made with goat's milk, and it's not like, oh, hey, here's some goat's milk from a glass.
Yeah.
You squirt the goat's milk from the goat, from the little teats.
And we
the
saw the
udders.
goats, remember?
Yeah.
We drove by and he's like, oh, that is one of the goat. They just have this goat on a table eating his food and they're just like beep, 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 milking him into these cups.
Yeah, and they have like chocolate or like you put chocolate in it or coffee or whatever. So it's like a creamy. I asked him if it was like a White Russian, and he's like, kinda, but
Yeah.
not really. But
Yeah.
it's like with this goat's milk, like, so you just go get a little couple squirty squirts from the teats.
Is that okay? Is that okay to drink?
I don't know.
I guess they're doing it. So.
And I think we mentioned the tequila, the Jose Cuervo tequila train, because a couple people are like, you didn't do the tequila train. We did
Couldn't do
not. It's like we said last week, it's only available on Saturdays, and it's really expensive. It was like, I think it was like $300, $400, $500 depending on what package you get.
Yeah.
For both of us, I think
Yeah,
it was like
yeah.
150 to $200 or $300 a person, depending on what you get.
I'm kind of happy that we did the tour we did. I
Oh,
think it
for
was
sure.
more. Obviously, it was more personalized. We love a good train. I love to see the views and everything. But I think it saved us time, obviously money,
Lots of money.
and we learned a lot more because we had such a personal experience with Kim.
For sure. And the train, I think, is only like an hour long. So
Yeah.
you're paying like a couple $100 for an hour, which I guess you're getting a lot of free tequila on the train. But we paid $50 for our tour with Kim.
Yeah.
And we had a full bottle of tequila to ourselves because
Yeah.
nobody else showed up.
We had a whole day of driving around. And remember when we looked at the Jose Cuervo train, it was like you said, it's an hour up to Tequila to take the train. And then we were looking for information on the way back. You have to take a bus. So you're not
Yeah.
even taking the train
Yeah,
back.
that was the other thing.
Because
It's like,
then
really?
other people are taking the train at night. So they're taking a bus up to Tequila and then the train back, which you wouldn't see anything because it's going to be dark by then.
Yeah.
So we were like,
It's just another way for them to squeeze more money out of people.
Yeah.
Like, instead of having you take it there and back, they're like, oh no, there's a sunset train and an evening train.
Right.
Or a sunrise and a sunset train.
I'm sure it's wonderful. I'm glad we did what we did.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of, I know this is airing on Friday, and today is, I don't know what today is, but
Yeah.
anyway, the Jose Cuervo explosion
Yeah, the distillery.
at the distillery.
They had an explosion
Yeah,
there.
did you see it? Like 5 people died.
That's crazy.
I just at first I saw it and it didn't say anybody had died or anything. It was just like, oh, 2 people were hurt or whatever, and it's just like, oh, that's crazy. And I don't know if you noticed, but it is on National Tequila Day. is what happened.
Oh no!
Isn't that crazy?
What were they doing?
I don't know. Well, it was like these 2 giant, like 219,000 liter tanks, like had something. Obviously, there was some kind of spark or heat or flame or something like that, and it caught the alcohol on fire, and so they fucking exploded because they're in these tanks.
Can you remember or imagine you're drunk on a tour, like,
Yeah.
like what's going
what the
on?
fuck?
Oh my god!
Yeah, so that's super sad. But the weird thing is, somebody said, "Oh, it was National Tequila Day," and I was like, "Yeah, but was it in Mexico?"
Yeah.
And turns out, National Tequila Day in Mexico used to be like September 30th, I think, and they changed it to coincide with the U.S. National Tequila Day.
What?
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
Because I guess we're the largest. The U.S. is the largest consumer of tequila outside of Mexico.
I could see that. Jose Cuervo loves us. He's like, we're changing the day.
Yeah. And the last thing, I guess it was the last agave field that we were visiting.
Yeah.
I brought my drone with, and I had asked Kim, like, hey, is there a good field that I can test my drone out in and get some good shots and do a flight?
He's like, oh, I got you, buddy.
Yeah.
Next one.
So we go to this one. It's really cool. It's like the whole agave field, and you can see the tequila volcano in the background. And there are these swings and benches. So we got really good photos and pictures and everything.
He didn't even say, like, we're going to a
Videos.
really cool place with giant swings over the agave fields. He was just like, yeah, just wait. We're like, holy shit, this is amazing.
Yeah. So we jumped down off the platform and go into. I asked. I was like, hey, can I go in the field so I can take some video of us in the agave field?
They were so cool. They're like, do whatever you want.
Yeah. So I'm flying my drone around. Everything's going great. And then I'm flying away. and I'm going between the swings, and I made it between the swings, but then there was like some kind of wire or something from one of the beams or something that I didn't see.
Didn't see the wires there.
Doom, my fucking drone hits it, and it just goes, it starts flying all weird and crashes, goes over this little, I mean, it's not a big cliff, it's like a little ravine kind of thing.
Yeah.
And sorry, I'm getting over cold. And
So
it goes over this like little ravine kind of thing. And everybody's like, oh shit. So the farmer that owns the land is like running over, and then Kim's coming to help out. And we're looking for the drone, and I can hear it because it's still kind of going.
Yeah,
and
like,
we finally find it. And the camera's going, da, 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 it's like going all crazy. I'm like, oh, it's so screwed.
Their faces were just like, oh my God, how much was this drone? They looked really like concerned and worried about what's this dude gonna say about his drone now?
Yeah, I've only crashed it. Well, no, I've never crashed it actually. I've crashed it once now, and my buddy crashed it on accident. And every time, I don't know why, but I act like it's no big deal.
You do. You're like, it's okay. It's older.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, oh yeah, it's fine. This happens all the time.
I
But
think
inside, I'm like, ah, shit.
You're like, very.
I don't want anyone else to feel bad.
Yeah, you don't want them to feel bad.
Yeah, even though this was completely my fault.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh, it's the drone looked fine, but the camera that was like going all over the place, I was like, oh, the fucking gyroscope on the camera is so screwed. Like, there's no way this. And the drone's like 5-6 years old, so it's
I'm
whatever.
just thinking, at least you got video before.
Yeah, that's what I
happened.
did too.
Like,
Yeah, I was thinking that. And then I turn it off and I turn it back on. Doo doo doo, and zzz, lifts up, flies just fine.
Totally fine.
Yeah.
They were all amazed, like, yeah, everybody's cheering, like, thank God.
Yeah, that's how we build things in America,
Yeah.
or actually, that's how we import them from China.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, it's probably not built.
Yeah,
in
no,
America.
it's definitely not. Oh shoot,
That was fun though. That was a really cool experience.
yeah. So, really good trip. The last thing that happened there on our Guadalajara trip was flying back when we checked in, and we flew on Aeromexico.
Yes. Thank you.
Which is like the Delta of the Mexican Airlines.
Wonderful airline.
And when we checked it, we got the bottom of the barrel tickets. We got the
Just
cheapest.
the basic.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm saying we got the cheapest ones. We didn't pay for luggage or carry on or anything. So when we go to check in, it doesn't give us a seat.
Yeah.
So we're trying to see if we're sitting next to each other. It just says standby.
Yeah.
And then it says that for our connecting flight too, because we had a layover in Mexico City.
Yeah.
So we're like, shit, what do we do? So when
we're like, what does standby mean? Why would we be on standby?
yeah, and we were like fourth or fifth in line.
Yeah, we bought tickets. We should have a seat. We should have, all our things. What are you talking about?
Yeah. So we go and we're like, I guess let's just go to the airport and hope for the best. So we go up to the counter and she's like, oh yeah, you just need a seat. So she gives us our seats. We're sitting right next to each other.
Boop, boop, boop.
So
Totally
I don't know why we were on standby.
I
I was
even know if it was actual standby. I think something happened, and then she's like,
well, it literally
"Ugh."
said standby on
True.
it. And we're like, okay. She's like, you're gonna have to go to the counter at the next flight, in Mexico City. And I was kind of worried because we only had they scheduled us a 40-minute layover in the Mexico City airport. So we're like, shit. So we land. We're like, let's get the fuck off of this. And we get a message that the other flight is, oh no, actually it said that we were arriving in Cancun late, but we were still taking off on time.
Yeah.
On the app. And I'm like, that doesn't seem right. So I go on FlightAware and I look up see where the plane was coming from.
Mm.
The plane that we were waiting to come in so that we could fly to Cancun in Mexico City hadn't even landed yet. They were delayed. So they knew that we weren't taking off on time, but they didn't update it. So if you ever have that happening with a flight where it looks like you're landing at home or wherever you're going later and you have a layover, get on FlightAware and see where your flight is coming from, because chances are it's getting delayed. So you're going to have some extra time.
Yeah. I don't like it. Like, it's delayed, airlines. Like, just if you could give us an update, then, we could prepare accordingly. And I think, or do they think, oh, if we let people know it's delayed, they're going to be delayed coming here, and then it's going to be a whole clusterfuck. But just let us know.
Yeah,
let
keep us
me know if
updated.
I have, if I've taken Uber now or if I can wait a couple hours,
Yeah. And so like we got some time, but they don't tell us, like, on the screen it doesn't say even a gate. It's like go to like Hall E
Yeah.
or something.
Like,
And
oh,
so we
God.
go there, and it's just like a lady and a stand, and then a bunch of chairs, and everybody's just sitting there, and they're talking to him, like, and we don't know what's going on, or if we're delayed, if we're even making it on the plane because we couldn't get a ticket with a seat on it. So we're like, oh, we're so fucked. We're gonna get same thing with you in Florida. It's like they could have told us not to go to Mexico City and not have to stay the night there, and now we're getting screwed.
Yeah.
So they finally give us a gate, and we go over there, and they're like, oh, anybody with standby, get in line over here. So we get in the line. We're the first people in line at the counter.
First ones.
And the counter people are ignoring us as usual.
Which is fine. We were waiting calmly. They're like, if you're on standby, wait here. We're going to deal with everybody else, and we'll come over to you. Cool. I have no problem waiting in line.
Then this fucking bitch behind us, her and her husband, she like comes and stands. I hate when people do this. Like, I'm at the counter, everybody's in line behind us. She comes and sits at the counter next to me.
Right.
And like they're gonna help her first or something.
She was annoying the fuck out of the attendant there. She was asking him every question. Every time he'd walk away and come back, she'd ask him another question. He's not even looking at her. He's like doing his job, trying to coordinate everything else, like just answering her stupid questions, like blah, 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 blah. We're like, leave him alone.
Yeah. So they're calling names, and they're not going in. They didn't even like talk to us at the counter there. They're just calling names of people. I'm guessing they're figuring out what seats they have available.
Yeah.
And of course, they call those assholes before us.
Yeah.
And they calling everybody else. Everybody in the line behind us is gone. We are the only two people still there. They're over in the other line getting ready to get their ticket scanned or whatever. And then they call our names. I don't know why. They pulled us to the front of the other line and gave us our tickets, and like we got on before everybody else.
It was amazing. It was just like the best type of situation where you get frustrated or taken advantage of, and they were like, "Oh, we're so sorry. Right this way," and we're like, "Bye."
Bye. Yeah, that was great. So.
It was great. So I think they had like a internal error with their system or something, because it wasn't just us on standby. It was a good amount of people, so something happened where it didn't assign any of these seats, and then they had to assign them manually. So it was a cluster.
Yeah, it really was.
Everyone was mad.
Other than that, we got home just fine and had a great time.
Thank God.
Yeah. So that was basically our Guadalajara trip. But we hit the ground running when we got back, because after the next day, our friends Jose and Carmen, who are from Atlanta, and the listeners of the podcast, and then the radio show back in the day, owner of EPON in Jonesboro, and they were coming in town. They're staying in our Airbnb or in our rental. So anybody that needs a rental in Playa del Carmen or in Tulum, shoot us a message. You can go to hansonsonhiatus.com. Or on Instagram, you can message Alexis or myself or whatever, and we can either set you up or help you find a good place.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So they were coming in town for a vacation, brought two of the kids. Yep. And we were planning on doing, what was it? Cozumel one day, the Xcaret Park one day, and then we were planning on doing Isla Mujeres with some of our friends for my birthday, because we didn't get to celebrate with my friends.
Yeah.
And so then they came to that too. So we did 3 days in a row of just boom, boom, boom.
I think their kids were tired, or they're like, where are we going now?
Yeah.
But they had fun. I think they all had fun.
Oh, totally. So like I took them to Cozumel by myself, and we did that because I think you were doing work, and then you had a doctor's appointment. And then the next day we went to Xcaret Park, and it's 15-20 minutes away.
Yeah.
We take the bus there, and because it's like, I don't know, what is it, like 120 pesos or something, like $6-7 bucks?
Adeo is the way to go.
Yeah, typically.
Yeah.
For some reason, our bus didn't show up for 20 minutes, and then 40 minutes, and then an hour, and then 90 minutes, and then we're talking to other people in the bus station, like that lady and her husband, and they're like, "What's going on?"
We're making
like,
friends.
Yeah, they're like, the next bus is supposed to be coming already, but we have tickets for the previous bus. She was like, "Do you guys want to split a taxi?" And we're like, "Well, we already have all of our tickets." And
we're like, we're rolling 6 people deep. We can't.
So when she went and got a refund. The minute they got a refund, the bus shows up.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
We're like, oh my God, we're so sorry. But I think she still got on because we saw her at Xcaret.
Yeah,
so
maybe she bought another ticket or just used the one she had or something. Who
that
knows?
was the only time ever. The only thing that runs on time in Mexico is the Adeo bus. It might be a couple minutes late, but they're just looking at us like, you guys use this all the time? We're like, we really do. I've never seen it be an hour or more late.
No.
I've never seen it an hour late. That's crazy.
Never.
Yeah.
And then at Eshkaret, there was a lot of Italians, right?
Yeah, a lot of Italian. It must be Italian.
Didn't you see some little chubby kid do something?
He was flipping out. Like, who's the kid on Willy Wonka? The fat kid that's always like complaining.
Oh yeah, I don't know their names, but
Whatever
I know
his
who you're
name
talking
is.
about.
He looked like that, and then so he's walking with his dad, and I see them walk back in front of me again while I'm waiting for you guys in the river. And he has this little stuffed turtle with those big, kind of like glass eyes,
Mm-hmm.
and he drops it in this puddle because it was raining, and he just goes, meh, and starts flipping out, and the dad's like, calm down, calm down. He's just like, no, meh, like in Italian, and I'm just like, this is the cutest thing ever. I wish I had a video of it. He's just throwing this temper tantrum in Italian, this tiny little man, like me, 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 me. It was so funny.
Oh my god!
But there was a lot of that, and the dad and the mom and all of them, they're just, for some reason, when you guys left and I was by myself, everyone decided, let's go sit by Alexis, like in the entire park. I don't know why.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, so we did that on Friday. We went to Eshkaret, and then last Saturday was when we decided to go to Isla Mujeres for my birthday.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we had to take the bus up to Cancun, and then we took an Uber over from the bus station to the ferry station, and then we took the ferry over. And they usually have live music on there, which they did.
Yep.
This guy was great.
He was shredding, if
Yeah,
I
it was
could
like,
use that word. As soon as he pulled out an electric guitar on the ferry, I was like, oh, this guy's going to be impressive. And he was. He got the crowd going. I think everyone gave him a tip, like 10, 20, 30 pesos. Everyone did.
Yeah, he was. But it was funny because he played the final countdown from, was it Europe?
Yeah.
And he's like, final countdown. And he was he was hitting that, like, the, I don't know.
High notes.
Yeah, the high notes on all but the portion of the song when you say the final countdown, I was like filming him, and then I turned it around to the back of because the bus or the boat was full.
Yeah.
I turned it around, and I'm thinking everybody's going to say, the final countdown.
Yeah.
Nobody says it. And I realized nobody, like, usually those ferries are full of Americans and Canadians and stuff. This isn't the season for them.
It's not the season.
So it's all like Europeans, which you think they would know Europe, but nobody seemed to know the words.
Europeans
I just thought that was
and
funny.
Locals, they were like, everybody was jamming. They just didn't know the words.
Yeah.
We did. Our 2 or 3 rows, we were all giving it to him. He loved us.
Yeah, he was great. Yeah. So if you remember in episode 39, I saw Michael Jackson in the jungle in Isla Mujeres on mushrooms.
Are you sure?
I was not. But this weekend, I am sure, because he was waiting in line for the bus with us, smoking a cigarette.
I just feel you like touch me. You're like, Michael. I'm like, what? Michael Jackson is here. He's getting on our bus.
Yeah. So we get on the bus, and he's standing for a little while. And then
and he was a good Michael Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
He had the makeup
for an island.
For an island, the tape, the costumes. I mean, he was good.
Yeah. And then a seat opens up, and he's sitting down in front of me. He's drinking a Tecate. So I'm like, well, first of all, now we know Michael has terrible taste in beer. Yeah. So and then the bus continues on. We get off. We go snorkeling for a couple hours, and then we walk over to the bar next door. To the was it the Borracho Burro?
Yes.
Cantina.
That place is fun.
And Michael Jackson is there performing. He is real. He does perform in the jungle, and I am not crazy.
He was there. Your stories were true.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't telling stories.
He was spinning around. He was doing like all of the Thriller dances.
He had the choreography down and the costume. He did a couple costume changes, I'm pretty sure.
He sure did. He had the jacket and everything. He was doing the Thriller dance, and he was spot on because he did exactly what Michael Jackson does. He's like grabbing his crotch for some reason, and then one of the moves, it looks like he's just jerking it. It was just very strange.
Very uncomfortable. He even had the creepy contacts for the Thriller dance, like the cat eyes.
Yeah,
he turned
eyes.
around. We were all like, Jesus.
So, yes, Michael Jackson does exist in the jungle, and he goes by Miguel Jackson.
He did. Oh my God.
Oh shoot! So
that was a treat.
confirmed.
Yes.
He's alive and well, and he lives in the jungle.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's not dead. He's in his little
And he takes the
Harris.
bus and smokes cigarettes and drinks Tecate.
Yeah, we were all like, "Hey, Michael." He's like, "Hey, hey, hey."
Yeah, he's like, hey.
Yeah, he did. He was very soft spoken like that. Like,
Yeah.
"Hi."
Oh shoot! So yeah, that was basically it for this weekend. This past weekend.
Yeah.
And week. I don't know. We don't really have a lot of plans this weekend. We're kind of gearing up for the Iowa State Fair and our trip to Iowa in the next few weeks. So
This is the time of the summer that a lot of our friends that have kind of lived here for a few months, they're all going back home because they got to go back to their places. And then a lot of friends are going on vacation. So there's not a lot of people here lately that, like our friends, but it's been pretty quiet lately.
yeah. So
Time of the year.
well, I'm sure some crazy shenanigans will happen this weekend.
I'm sure.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we'll have some new stories for you next week.
Mhm.
But thank you for listening. We really appreciate it. Any help that you would like to give us, if you're loving the stories and the information about wherever we are in Mexico, what we're doing, consider donating a few virtual beers. Buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on hiatus. Again, I wanted to thank Mike, Vanessa, Christina, Kim, and Anonymous.
Yeah.
Don't forget to go to the hansonsonhiatus.com, visit the merch store, share the website for other people so they can follow along.
Yes.
And don't forget to follow, subscribe, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, iTunes, YouTube Music
All the things.
at Hansons on Hiatus. I hope you guys have a great and safe rest of your weekend. Happy Friday, fuckers.
Happy Friday, fuckies.
That's it. Thanks for listening. Goodbye for now. Bye.